gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹ wá bá ń gbọ́ yìí o, ẹ jẹ́ àjọ fojú ayọ̀ wò ó, ìkànnì Wo TV ńlá wà yìí, ẹ tẹ̀lé mi, ẹ jẹ́ àjọ lọ. Gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti mọ̀ wá wípé agbétàná dànù ni wá, agbé tuntun dé sórí ètò lónìí ni. Bó bá ti wá yá yín, ẹ má jẹ́ ròyìn ní púpọ̀ jù, ẹ tẹ̀lé mi, ẹ jẹ́ àjọ lọ.
So Wumi was the first that spoke in court, not that Baba Mohbad. So the magistrate court invited deceased wife Abiola Cynthia Omowumi to the witness stand, and she swore an oath before the cross-examination started. They started by asking her questions about the disease, which is Mohbad. They asked his name, his age, and every other thing about him since they've been together. So in her description of Mohbad, she described Mohbad as a cool-headed person who loved everyone around him. She said he asked his brother to get him water when he started to feel feverish after he was injected by the nurse. So I think with this summary is because of the way the journalists have typed it out. But I'm sure that we are trying to understand. Obviously, after Mohbad came back from the show, he was feeling feverish and all of that. I hope you are getting it. So in her description, she described him as a cool-headed person who loved everyone around him. She asked his brother to get him water when he started to feel feverish after he was injected by the nurse. He vomited and peed on himself. She said he was moved from his room. He started feeling feverish. He vomited and peed himself. She was moved from his room to the son's room, which is Liam's room, because of the AC, air condition. She said she rushed downstairs to scream for help when she noticed he wasn't getting better and they could not use his car because the mechanic was working on it. And she got boys to carry him. She said they were still on the way to the hospital. I don't understand. If Mohbad's car is not working, so whose car? Okay, maybe the neighbor's car, they said earlier. So mechanic was not working and she got boys to carry him. She said they were still on the way to the hospital when the driver held his hand and said he was already getting cold. And they had to get a bike who took him and his photographer OG to the hospital. The hospital name is Kuramid Hospital, Orchard, and she got on a bike as well and followed them. She said they spent about 15 minutes 15 minutes to get there before the doctor told them he had passed on. And she called his cousin, Bolu Adeyemo, aka Darosa, to take him to another hospital. So they spent 15 minutes before the doctor told them he had passed on. She called his cousin, Bolu Adeyemo, aka Darosa, to take him to another hospital for confirmation. Speaking about what happened at the show that led to him sustain an injury before his death, she said they got there around 7 p.m. and he performed around 9 p.m. After his performance, he got back and said that they had to leave because he was tired, but he could not leave because so many cars were parked behind his car. The bouncer told him to wait till other artists performed. So, the other artists performed to get the opportunity to move out. After waiting for an hour, he became restless and uncomfortable. After some time, he wanted to go downstairs to speak with the bouncer, but she told him no because she knows it will not end well. Mohbad called Prime Boy and his brother to speak with the bouncer to allow him out. Primeboy came back and was angry because Adura disrespected him, which led to an argument between Mohbad and Primeboy. Mohbad told Primeboy not to disrespect him whenever they are outside. This resulted in a fight between Primeboy and Mohbad, and she rushed out to call his workers to help him and help her to resolve the fight. She said Primeboy was seated in the car. Mohbad was standing while they were fighting, which led to Mohbad sustaining a minor injury. This event happened on Sunday, the 10th of September. She said they got home and she helped in massaging the hand with balm. After he said the nurse will come the next day to attend to him. She said when he woke up on Monday, he was fine and he took only Panadol. She said he was perfectly fine and even played with all his workers and friends. He only complained of slight pain. The nurse came on Tuesday and she told the DJ that he should have sent her a picture of the hand, and she injected him afterwards. The wife said she left to the kitchen and she gave him another injection, and she heard him ask the nurse to remove the injection that he was not feeling comfortable again. And then he went to the restroom to pee and he vomited. She called for help and the nurse said there was a drip that was meant to be given to Mohbad to stabilize him. The nurse then left with the FJ to buy it. She said they only got married traditionally. I think we know that. She said the corpse was taken back to the house at Orchard. She described the relationship between herself and her father-in-law as very cordial. She said only time they had an issue was when the father-in-law asked for the placenta when a child was born. Mohbad disagreed. That was when they started having issues. She said Mohbad's father was always bringing different girls to the house, speaking about the issues as regards the Canadian visa. She mentioned that they didn't have any issues. She mentioned they didn't even have any money as at then because he had just recorded a label and he wanted the child to leave the country before he turns 1 because he was wary of his opponents and how he has been getting threats. She said he was against posting her and her child on the internet due to safety reasons. She said he was always thinking and refused to sleep most times, and he also refused to eat. And they asked her about Maisi. Maisi is a 24-year-old. They asked about Darosa. Darosa is Mohbad's cousin. They asked her who is Adura. Adura is his brother. Idris is the photographer. And then February 22nd, 2022, they asked Wumi about the NDLA issue and then what happened. He said, they asked her who called the nurse. She said Spending called the nurse. And then they asked her, did the nurse administer any injection for Mohbad? She said yes. She administered 2 injections for the nurse. They asked her, the injection was administered, where was the injection administered? Wumi said it was administered on Mohbad's vein. They asked her, when did you meet Mohbad? When did they meet? The first time they meet, she said she met Mohbad when she was 14 years old. And they asked Wumi, when did Mohbad join Malians. And Mohbad joined Malians record when in 2018. They asked her, was she there when the injection was being administered to Mohbad? She said no, that it wasn't in her presence, that she was in the kitchen. She said she was in the kitchen. So, further question about the NDLA. Did NDLA eat Mohbad with anything at all? She said yes, NDLA eat Mohbad on his head with a gun. They asked her, was she there? She said no, that she said he went to the, okay, they asked her, was she there? She said no, but she now came out to the gate, and that they refused Mohbad to go out, and she came outside by the gate to see her, to see Mohbad. And then they were told that Mohbad was hit on the head by gun. And then she said Mohbad moved out of that house. When did Mohbad leave the house, the Malian's house? And they said Mohbad left the Malian house after the incident of the NDLA. And then they asked, is there anyone bullying Mohbad that she's aware of? And she said since they moved out of Naira Marley's house after the NDLA incident, that there have been constant bullying and threats started to happen after the issues from the Malian house. So that is the first half of the coroner inquest that has been submitted.